Hello, in this video, I will be showing the Rights Management extension for Autodesk AutoCAD. To begin, let's start with what this is. The Rights Management extension for Autodesk AutoCAD is a standard AutoCAD plugin that integrates seamlessly with NextLabs DRM to provide rights management features. Next, we will review what it does. It provides several new features in the AutoCAD application. The first feature is New Protection. You can directly protect normal documents in the application and view document information such as the classification and the permissions applied to the protected documents. The second feature is Access Control. It allows the authorized user to open a protected document and view the decrypted content inside the application. The third feature is Usage Control. It controls whether or not to execute the commands such as save, save as, export, and print based on the permissions on the protected document. In addition, it prevents screen capture if permissions are not granted through anti-screen capture support. The fourth feature is Persistent Protection. It protects the new file automatically if it is generated from a protected document. For example, if you export a protected drawing file as DWF file format, the DWF file is also protected with the same permissions applied. The last feature is the Watermark Overlay. This is a secure overlay that is shown over the window. It contains dynamic watermark text that is predefined in the policy. Now that we've covered the fundamentals, let's demo the features discussed. Before we proceed, let's review some settings in the demo environment. IP classification is a document classification category that is predefined in DRM. It has two optional values, super secret and secret. There are two user accounts here, Jimmy Carter and Ning. We will use one of the user's attributes location in the policy later. There are also four policies that are predefined using the above classification and attribute. Policy 1.1. Allow users in the US to access secret data with all permissions. Policy 1.2. Allow users in the US to access super secret data with view permission only. Policy 2.1. Allow users in SG to access secret data with view permission only. Policy 2.2. Don't allow users in SG to access super secret data. Next, let's move into the first use case, where I will demonstrate the protection of AutoCAD files. In this use case, I will show you how to protect the drawing and how the derived data can be protected automatically. First, I will protect an AutoCAD drawing with XREFs. Then, I will save as copy of a protected drawing, where the newly generated copy file is protected with the same policy. Finally, I will export a protected drawing with XREFs to a DWF file, where the DWF file is protected. The classifications from the host DWG and all XREFs are applied. Let's move to the demo environment. In this machine, both the AutoCAD RMX plugin and DRM desktop application are installed already. I have logged into DRM through the DRM desktop application as Jimmy Carter and launched the AutoCAD application. Of course, the AutoCAD RMX plugin loads automatically. As you can see, everything is ready. Let's try to open the test file. I have prepared a drawing file containing an XREF. As you can see, there is now a new ribbon tab called NextLabs RMX. We can protect the current drawing and all reference drawings at once using the Protect with the XREFs command. Let me show you how this works. This dialog is used to specify the classification applied to the protected file. The classification is predefined in SkyDRM. For this example, I will define IP classification and choose the value as secret. Then, trigger Protect. It's now completed. You can see the watermark text is immediately shown here after the file is protected. Now, let me go back to the file folder. Here, both DWG files are protected now through new protection. Now, let's go back to the application session. As you can see, the drawing is protected. If I try to save it as a copy and type the new file name as copy1, the copy1.dwg is generated and protected. I open it and check the permission. We can see that the classification and the associated permissions are the same as the source file. Let's continue to export this drawing as DWF. Export to non-RPM folder. Then, you can use RMD to check classification. Here, we can see that the same classification and associated permissions were applied to the DWF file. The second use case is about access control and usage rights of AutoCAD files. First, I will try to access a protected drawing without view permissions, in which access will be denied. Next, I will modify and save changes on the protected drawing with edit rights. Then, I will try to save as and export the protected drawing without save as or copy permissions, in which access will be denied. Finally, I will try to take a screen capture and see that access is denied without extract permissions. To start, I will log out of the current SkyDRM and log in using another account, Ming. Here, you can see a protected file with super secret classification applied. Let's try to open it. It failed. This is because the SkyDRM user is not granted permission to access super secret data based on the policy. Alternatively, let me log in to SkyDRM again using Jimmy Carter. I will try to open this file again. You can see Jimmy Carter is able to open the file normally. However, there will be a pop-up that Jimmy Carter does not have permission to edit the file. Let's go ahead and check the permissions on the file. You can see here that only the viewing permission is granted. Now, if I try to save as, you will see Jimmy Carter is denied from completing this action. Similarly, let me attempt to take a screen capture using the snipping tool. I will try to create a new capture. And as you can see, there's a block screen because Jimmy Carter doesn't have the necessary permissions to complete this action. So how about if we try editing the protected drawing? This action will only be enabled once the editing permission is granted. Let's test this out. Jimmy Carter will start by opening another drawing. He will modify this host drawing and also modify one of his XREF where he doesn't have the permission to edit. He tries to make some edits on this XREF drawing, but this won't be safe. Next, he will go back to the host drawing and try to save it. As you can see, the modification on the host drawing is saved, but not on the XREF. This is because the XREF file only has viewing permissions not editing permission. If we reopen the drawing, we will have the expected outcome and can see that the content of the host file is updated, but not for the XREF file. With this, we conclude our demo on NextLabs Rights Management extension for Autodesk AutoCAD. Thank you for watching.